Good day, folks. Welcome to my channel. My name's Ken Lind. I haven't done a video for quite some time, a few days now, I should say. I've been so cotton picking busy, and I got called out on a couple of jobs, so haven't been able to do a lot of my own stuff. I've been going through my files on my computer, and I found some of my old drives that I use for my backups. I put all my backups on all my smaller drives, and then I turn around and I label them like this, what's all on the drive, so I have a backup that way for my files. So then, the last 3 days, my ex called me and wanted me to replace an outside tap for her. Well, that job took me just about 3 days to do it, and I didn't bother taking my camera and videotaping it. Thought about it afterwards that I should have, but when I did my own hot water tap in the other side of the shop, the views were so little that I decided, well, I'm not getting the views on that, installing that hot water line into the shop with the hot water tap in the shop, or the garage side I should say. I decided, heck with videotaping. So I'll just give a quick rundown of what I had to do there. First of all, it was all a finished basement, so I had to open up a lot of the drywall and trace the water pipe for the water line out where it went to get to the tap to begin with. Then once, and lo and behold, the person that did the original job for her when they renovated her basement got carried away with backers. Well, lo and behold, I'm just going to give a brief description of what I ran into. Pretend this little block here was the rafter. Of course, we're going to use this yellow marker as the pipe. Now, actually we'll use this pencil as the rafter. This was the issue, and I finally got to that point. But now we're going to use this lighter as our outside wall. So here's our pipe that ran through to the outside. Suppose this was this block of wood, the outside wall. Well, the person that put the outside tap that she wanted replaced, the hole was drilled one size larger than that pipe, with the pipe going through the hole. Well, this piece is the other end where I had to cut it off here on the original line going in, which I had about 3 backer plates to take off before I could get there, and I could not access the coupling joint with my torch because there's no way you could get a torch into the place. So I had to try to pull the tap out. Well, this is what I had to deal with in pulling through that hole that was as big as that pipe to get that through. So all I could do was kind of use this as a file and torch it, and as you can see, I tore what was left of the tap apart, because this was buried that you could not even get wrenches into it to disconnect it. Whoever did the renovation when they did her basement, I won't mention the names, I know the person who did it, but he got carried away with backer plates. So I just thought I'd show you what I had to deal with and the reason why it took me so long to get that one-day job that turned into almost a 3-day job. So I finally got that in. Then of course I had to do all the drywalling and fire taping, getting it all back to the way it originally was. But this was absolutely absurd. You know, whoever did this sure wasn't thinking about any repair jobs in the future. Then the weather hasn't been there. It went from one extreme, raining and cold, to boiling hot, all in the 30s. Just too hot for me to work on the car. So my car's just been sitting. The boat has just been sitting. So that's why I decided to work on the PC and rearrange a few of my files and make backup. Because I discovered one particular one when I went to watch a show in the house on the TV set, and I'm using MB for the new TV I bought. This unit here is my server for MB. Well, lo and behold, I got the messages, file cannot be located. So I come back and looked at the computer for some strange reason, and I don't know why. When I looked at there, it was all gone. It was my cartoons folder. It was all gone. So that's why I decided, well, that's it. Use up my old hard drives and put all my files on backup drives. So if it drops a file, I've got a backup. And I can't understand it. When I had XP, I never, ever had that issue. I know I've heard lots of stories of people saying, yes, XP just dropped files. Well, I never had XP drop one file on me. With Windows 11, that was a shock and a half when I found out my whole files, all my cartoons were gone. And I had the entire series of the Bugs Bunny cartoons along with all the movies, the stories of those who produced it, made it, directed it, and all that. So there was quite a few movie video clips as well. Well, they were all gone. Thank goodness I found my old CD with most of the backups. Of course, they were in 4:3 ratio, so I've been having to convert them to 16:9. So that being said, that's just where I've been for the last few days, and the reason I haven't done a video. So I'm debating now, do I start on the car or do I work on the boat? Both of them have got to get done, and the car is kind of more of a priority than the boat. The boat I can put off, but in the last little while since my insurance ran out and I've had the car immobile, I sure discovered, boy, do I ever need that car. So I think we're going to focus on finishing the car and getting it going again. Well, finally, I've been trying to get this computer of mine to reboot now for the last 2.5 hours. It just finally rebooted. Windows 11. Yeah. Give me XP any day. It was still, I don't care what anybody says, XP was the Cadillac, and it was so simple. You knew where you were. You knew what it was doing. All you got now, ever since Windows 7 started, bloody circle going around and around and around like this. Well, what the hell is it doing? You don't know. All prior operating systems had a little nice bar charts there and the description, what it was doing. If it was loading files from the CD, it was telling you what files there. Even though it was fast, it still gave you an idea where it was, what it was doing. Not anymore. That was too simple. Anyway, as my wife would say, welcome to the 21st century. I don't know. I think so many things in the 20th century that cannot be beaten. And it seems they're going backwards instead of forwards. Okay. No, by the time this thing rebooted, I forgot what the heck I had to reboot it for. Anyway, got carried away here. That's how it's been for the last week. Well, it is another day. plans sure got changed. My plan for today was going to be working on the car. However, just after I shut the camera off last night, my computer decided all of a sudden to give me a blue screen. Well, lo and behold, I kept, what the devil is causing a blue screen? So I ended up, well, go to use my laptop so I could look up the code it gave me. Well, had to hunt for the power supply for it. And I found out the laptop don't work. And this is what really gets me. These things here, called smartphones. They think everybody owns one nowadays. And they give this barcode that you're supposed to use this on and look it up. They're forgetting that you're paying for the data usage on the time you use that internet on this thing. Left me anyway with no trace. So I looked it up, what was there, followed the instructions they gave me, said first thing to look for is either hardware or software issue. Well, I kind of knew that already anyway. So I started disconnecting, called process of elimination. I ended up just about tearing my whole damn computer apart. Still getting a blue screen. Still getting the blue screen. I'd got every hard drive disconnected, the CD-ROM disconnected, my card reader disconnected, my RAID adapter for the CD-ROM ID CD-ROM disconnected. I'm still getting a blue screen. Well, instead of wasting time, because already now, just with the first data here on this, it's going to cost me over $100 now, my next phone bill. And that's why I tried only in emergencies to use this for anything on the internet that I gotta look up. If I had my way, I'd do this with it. Because I hate them. Worst thing that ever came out was those things. Yes, although I do have to admit they do have some advantages, but it's gone from one extreme to the other. Gone are the good old simple days. So, today ended up computer day. After I just finished saying about that, went downstairs in the house to my XP unit. Well, went to look the information up. Of course, half the internet. You need to update your browser. You need to update browser. Well, with XP, you cannot update your browser anymore. Not only that, my hard drive in it started acting up. Diagnosed that. It kept freezing on me. It's been doing that for the last year. Freezing on me. I finally run a diagnostic on this drive. I found out this was the culprit that was causing the freezing. Of course, that had to be my operating system on that, which was Windows XP. The time I built this one, I did buy a new SSD drive because I already knew that this was giving the problem. So I prepared myself ahead of time for that. So I had the new hard drive for it. So now, not only do I got one computer to reprogram, I got two computers. Oh, speaking of reprogramming, getting back to this unit here. I got down to the last hardware issue disconnected except for the video card, which I got an NVIDIA video card. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, I got everything, every piece of hard drive disconnected. What the hell can it be that's causing me to get a blue screen? And there's only one last thing left that was extra hardware installed, and that is the video card. And I was just tempted to pull that damn video card and go back to the do a test on the onboard video card, chip, whatever you want to call it, that's on the motherboard. In order to do that, I'd have to switch all my monitor cables around. Well, I didn't want to do that. So then it took me an hour searching. Well, what the hell did I do with my jump drives, with my installation programs for Windows 10 and as well as Windows 11? Well, I finally found it. And just for the hell of it, let's see if it'll reprogram. So sure enough, reprogram. Now it's back up and running, but I still have yet to reprogram and set all my configurations and install all my extra programs. And the trouble with Windows 11 versus Windows XP, I'll have my XP unit done before I'll have this one done. That's how much simpler XP is over this Windows 11, because you're running around in circles for settings and try to remember where to go. That is the biggest problem. Like now, the first thing I want to do is get this PC, which they renamed from my computer, on my desktop. Well, I can never remember where in the hell it is that you get that. With Windows XP in 2 seconds and you've got it on the desktop. Here I'm running in circles for about an hour before I finally find it. And that goes with every setting that I gotta do on this Windows 11. It just drives me. They can't keep nothing simple. Those days are history. It's time we get back to it. I'll keep saying that over and over again. I'm a firm believer of the keep it simple, stupid method, because it is so much less frustrating. And then they talk about stress. Well, the way they keep making the things in this high-tech technology, all they're doing is creating more stress, not reducing it. They're just creating more. Anyhow, I will be taking the camera down and I will show you my setup in the house with and the reason why I keep XP on my house unit. So while that's programmed and I got the main OS installed in this one, now it's a matter of starting to put it all back together. So that is the next step with this one. The first thing to do is, I got it off now, is to put my IDE card back in for the CD-ROM here. RAID card, that's what it's called, right. Also, at the same time, putting this back together, a few little changes that we'll be making, as well as a little bit maintenance work on it. First thing I gotta do, this fan, I gotta manually spin it before it gets going, so I want to take it out, clean it up, re-lubricate it, and I'll switch it around with this back fan. So I took the 4 bolts to hold this top fan on, and now we turn this case on its side so I can attack the rear ones at the rear. Some of the changes I'm going to be doing is I'm removing my card reader because it quit working on me, as well as a little hard drive swapping, or cable swapping. What used to be yesterday here so simple in hooking your pattern or your drives the way you wanted it, used to be drive 0, drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, drive 4, Not anymore. This BIOS is a rather confusing BIOS. So I wrote my information down, because I got physically in order from number 1 to number 2 on the board going to my drives. However, when you install Windows 11, you get the opposite. So this is what I did. I wrote down my information from Windows 11, like so, as the way Windows Computer Management, I think it was called, Disk Management, that's what it was. Then beside it on the other column, I put which present drive letter was on it. As you can see, it's alternating all over the place. So then I went in the BIOS, in between all my blue screens, and as I was disconnecting them, I wrote down there, well, the trouble with the BIOS is I don't know which drive is which, so I wrote the drive serial number of each drive that I can eventually match it to this. So what I have come to conclusion is if I took this pattern here, so I can keep it in this order, like all Windows operating systems work, right from Windows 95 to the present Windows 11, and arrange it so that my drives are in that order there, following that. So it's a matter of matching this now and this together. Well, the first ones I got was A1, which is my DVD-ROM here. My present H drive was disk O, which is this drive here. So we got to switch these two cables around from this end because it's easier on this end than trying to get on the side of a motherboard. That's the old new part in the toilet here. And now I'm running into a new problem. It took me a while to get my water level up here on the hill. I have to do a little bending to the old slope. But now, when I go to flush it, the slope goes so low, it lands up the old plunger here. Oh, by golly, I think I finally got it. Well, that's what I was after. As you can see, that's what happens. You got to keep this. That's what I'm come up with a device so I can stop this from doing that. So, pile of shenanigans today, that's for sure. Let's see. Stuff that was supposed to be adjustable, because when I look at the old one, it had a different level of adjustment. That one I took it to the bike in the shop, and there's no way I could bring that up. Still thinking of method and anyhow, here's another thing I gotta finish. Got all my first layer mud put up there. Now it's a matter of sanding that out and painting it. Oh, it came up to the end. Discovered this piece here. And what the devil this float is for is beyond me, because it does nothing. But what it did do for me, it gave me the opportunity, now that this is a flash it, stop the float from getting down any farther to what it is. That's that can operate. Now, you can go to the shop, check out the old Windows 11. Whoa! Clear off from here. Then get it out, take a drill, punch a hole here. Once it pops through, it's enough to pop your blade out. This is what we want. To get this, the actual blade out. Now that we got the blade out, if you got turbine oil, so much the better. If you haven't got turbine oil, another good substance for oiling that, cleaning and oiling, is good old ATF, automatic transmission fluid. Works just as good and it's a heat resistant oil. Just like your turbine oil is. Well, I don't know if any audio came there, so well, I still got it at this stage. Do a quick rundown of what I did again. Took sand number 1 out, pulled the tag off of here, popped the old blade out, and oiled the bearing in there. And same thing with this, I couldn't get it popped out, so I filled it up with oil, spun it around with my fingers like so, turning much freer. Then I put the tag down, and now I can't remember where I put the tag. So while I'm looking for that, thinking about it, I'm going to go back downstairs to my... Oh, I did it again. Did it again. Too many switches to turn on and off in between taking. When you're by yourself and you got 1,000 things going through the mind, you keep forgetting. You got to turn the transmitter on, got to turn the receiver on, then turn the camera on. Or turn the camera on and the receiver and the transmitter for the wireless mic here. So I'll say it again before I put this all together. Took this one apart, couldn't get the rubber out of here, so drilled a hole here, got the old lubricant, put down in there, got it. Well, so that's spinning freer. This is a little maintenance that if you do this maintenance every 6 months or so, you save yourself a lot of money in buying fans. And went to put the sticker back on here, but got a little excess oil on there that doesn't want to stick. So wipe it out, we'll come back to that. There's a method that you can use there. But what I did with this one is a mystery right now. So that might just come to me when I go to the next stage of my XP installation. Replacing the hard drive in my XP unit. Okay, so I got them there. Now before I bolt them down, what I do, I just go sitting here, let the operating system boot up for a while, and we shut it down again, put them back in place. Still haven't found the old tab here, so it looks like I'm going to have to make me one. The reason you want the tag on there is to stop dust from getting into that bearing. Well, most of the units on this program for the old XP unit, practically just a couple of items left. Few drivers that I cannot find my darn motherboard CD on, so till I find it, a little bit of a hole there, but it's pretty well completed. Meanwhile, I can't find the sticker that came off of here, so we're just going to make one here with our old Swan sticker here. It doesn't want to stick very well. Okay, we'll take. And there it shows now that we're connected. You see it's now pulsing red. The other one's there, the receiver is on. Use this pole to switch over my mic here. It shows that lights went off, which tells me the battery's dead in the transmitter here. So, once again, try this once again. I had to put a little Gorilla Glue on these stickers because just enough sticking force was taken there, and if you've seen their time, so dab of Gorilla Glue is there. The whole reason again, once again, is you want to keep dust from getting into that bearing. That's the reason for these stickers covering this. Anyhow, I did get just about got my XP unit fully completed with all my programs, except there's a few drivers that I cannot find the darn CD for the motherboard with the drivers. And of course with XP, that's one advantage of this new one. You don't have to, it pretty well takes care of all driver issues during your install. Because Microsoft now supports pretty near all drivers for all your hardware. Whereas with XP, you did have to rely on, like, your network, any extras. I have a TV card in it, so that's extra drivers there. So, but still, I put my programs in. Like I said, I'm 3/4 of the way done on it. This one, well, this is sure interesting. The 4 screws I took out of here, taking this fan out, where did I put them? And I remember them being black. And so the possibility I threw them in the can without being able to look at my video until I get this thing programmed. I'm searching. Good high possibility. I remember throwing 4 black screws in the can, but I think they were smaller. So I just took for granted, well, they were spares. So, let's dig my screw can out and see if we can't find them. One thing I'm going to mention here too. I figured out why we get busier when we get older. Well, that's exactly what I did. Smaller in length, so I mistook them and I did throw them in my can. As I was saying, I figured out why we get busier when we're older. Because our minds stay young, but our bodies don't. And we get tired a lot more quicker. That's why we end up getting much. Yeah, good. Camera shut off on me in final words there. So, as I was just saying there, our bodies get older. I goofed. Our minds stay young, but our bodies tell our true age, is what I meant to say. Anyhow, with that, thanks for watching. Do like, do subscribe. I'm sorry about the audio in that one portion there towards the end. And we'll catch you on the next one. Adios.